Hello everybody, welcome back once again to Dungeon Maker here on the World of Madness server. Oh, it's been so long since I've had to say that. Okay, we have a few bits of progress since last time around. So we've spread the grass up to just over here. Pretty much we have a complete straight line going down the back of our house now. So it goes all the way over that way to the sea, as it were. Doesn't include that hill over there, which does have some news on it, which I'll get to in a hot minute, but does include the area down here at the bottom of it. So it goes over to just behind the stairway down into our major kind of branch mine, and the area just over to here to the sea as well. And I wondered, this little nook down here feels like it's rife for doing something, but I'm gonna wait until I've actually grasped this area, just so that we actually have a decent start on that. And yeah, so it's going smoothly. It is a time-consuming process, and it's not necessarily the most interesting thing in the world to watch, so I don't know if I'll be doing more in the way of time-lapses for it, but that is a little bit of progress for us right there. Then, you may have spotted it there, and as well as on my hotbar down here, we have indeed gotten ourselves some nice enchanted diamond tools and equipment. So we've got head, which has protection free, aqua affinity, unbreaking free, respiration free. We also have toes with protection free, depth strider free, and unbreaking free. And shoulders and knees also has like protection for and unbreaking free. Haven't been named yet just because those are literally what they were enchanted with. We then have Click, which is Quick Charge 1, Unbreaking Free Multi-Shot, as well as Shoot, which is Power 4, Unbreaking Free. Technically this is Shoot 2, because I lost the first Shoot in a mine while I was just lighting stuff up in the, like, ever-expansive mineshaft. So I'm up 2 more deaths, but I'm still not the highest count on the server, so hey, that's good. And then we also have Slice with Sweeping Edge 2, Eluding 2, Unbreaking Free, Neum with Unbreaking Free, Impaling 4, and Riptide Free, Touch, which is Efficiency 5, Silk Touch, and Unbreaking Free, and lastly, Dig, which is Efficiency 4, Unbreaking Free, which is very useful when I'm grassing around the island, because it is so painful otherwise. And over here in the actual resource chest, we also happen to have Crack, which is Unbreaking Free, Efficiency 5, Fortune Free. So the idea here is we touch ores and then we crack them to get their goods. They're all very straightforward names. And of course we have Predicted Fish here with Mending, Look at the Sea Free, and Lure 2, which is when we go fishing for all manner of things. And with, well, by handing of Crack and Touch, I have now gotten 3 diamond blocks and 6 diamonds left over with our current lay of things. And this equipment is good, but we are going to be improving it even further today, hopefully. And, yeah, just to mention up this little bit on the hillside, I really want to build, like, some kind of old, small, almost Protestant-esque kind of, like, church tower, or like, small church on here. This feels like a nice place. It'll need some terraforming, of course, but it's where we have our nether portal, and this weird, what even is this stuff again? Shroom light on the top, because this opens into a land of strangeness that I've only briefly seen. Yeah, it's sort of two, it looks like 2 separate biomes. I had to come in here to get some quartz, but hooey, it's an interesting place, that's for sure. I don't know exactly what's the deal with this biome, but it's interesting, that's for sure. And we'll probably be doing a lot more in here, but probably not today. Whoa. Hi, dude. How you doing? Probably not today, because firstly, that dude's shooting at me. Secondly, we don't have a path going from here to... Seriously? You wanted in here? Well, I suppose it's about your colors, isn't it? But yeah, we're probably not today, because we don't have an actual path going to anybody inside the Nether. So whilst I have a lot of traveling to do today, it ain't gonna be by the Nether, that's for sure. I just quickly run to the bed. I have slept recently, so I shouldn't get ghosties on me, but just to be on the safe side, let's make sure that I sleep properly, because Lord knows I'm not doing that in the middle of everything else that's going on in the world right now. And sleep. Okay, so the last thing that's changed from last episode is over here with the world's ugliest mob grinder. And not a great ton has changed. I say that, but I probably have way higher standards of progress than most. You guys be the judge if you think this is a lot or a little. So, yeah, over here, we've set up the Enchanting Station. It's got the full max up to 30 levels. Now, I don't have anything but this to enchant. There we go. So, yeah, we can get up to level 30, and we can change that just by sticking torches down. It's hardly the most... It's hardly the most, like, magnificent thing in the world. Got a little chest here. There's just my lapis and other things. There's Dig 1, which was then replaced by Touch and Crack. And... then we have an anvil, because you always need an anvil. We've got some barrels here holding different enchantments, roughly sorted by tools, ranged weapons, close range weapons, and armor, for the most part here. We have the Enchantment Extractor, which has a power 1 in here. Yeah. This is part of a data pack that we have. This allows us to basically rip enchantments off of items. Occasionally, it does frequently destroy them, and occasionally, like even more occasionally, it will spawn a Vix, which will just try to murder you. But it basically allows me to use these items to try and isolate what particular enchantments I want, and then get them onto books, which makes it much easier to build up my equipment. I feel like I maybe should have gone for piercing on my on click here, but multi-shot's pretty handy as well. And Neum is also pretty nice. Riptide Free is pretty sweet. But the major thing over here that's changed up is we have some water above here, which causes any zombies to drop in to eventually gradually turn into drowned, the weird creatures that have been attacking us with tridents from the sea. And that means that they no longer are counted for the zombie mob spawner, so the zombie mob spawner keeps spawning. The skeleton one still shuts off because we can't exactly turn them into, like, husks or what have you. But the zombies means we can get a whole bunch of other stuff. And down here we have a quick and dirty sorting system, which just makes sure all the drops are picked up. You can maybe tell from from the looks of this just how much grinding I have been doing to get all of these enchantments and such. Let's actually have a look at the statistics. So mobs, let's see, drowned 868, skeletons 1,390, and zombies 740. But this does need some improvements. And the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to go on quite a journey. And we have to take it pretty much by boat, because it's on the opposite side of the continent from us, and we don't have any hookups in the Nether. We literally just have that portal there so I could get some quartz to make the comparators that the sorting system runs on. And that is a trip to the land of the predicted cyborg, where we will hopefully be able to get our hands on some actual mending books, because my gear is heavily enchanted now, but it is not in a great way. Head is down to 18 durability. That really needs to actually have some, like, mending on it. Toes could also do of some. These two, really, head and toes, are the major things. But if we can get some more durability onto Slice, if we can get mending onto Neum, that'd be even better, because I'll actually be able to start using it as a weapon. But yeah, mending is the major next thing, and that then feeds into the next thing that we're going to be doing after that, which is we need to get some villagers on this island. We have this bright, semi-neon green kind of countryside coming up here, and we have nobody to share it with. So we need to get some villagers around here, I think, and that's going to be not quite on the level of the llamas, water planing across the ocean there, but it's probably still interesting nonetheless. And then there's a couple of things I want to do with the grinder to improve it, so it needs, like, we need to make it so that we can actually single hit mobs rather than having to hit them like 3 to 4 times, which is really eating up Slice's durability quite quickly. And we also need to deal with overflows from the items, because currently they can back up and then trash their own sorting, and then everything just goes to pot. We need to actually make sure we can just pretty much just run it continuously if possible. I don't imagine we ever will, because it's not exactly the fastest thing on the planet, but, you know, it's something to bear in mind. So, with that in mind, let's head over on our way to Size. I don't have a name for this llama, but I swear if he dies on this cliff edge, with all of my emeralds and a decent chunk of my resources for trading, for the love of God, get down here before you die. Thank you.
I mean, I do actually have a back entrance that would be better to bring a llama through, but you've already gone down. You're already coming back up.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice for you to have at least one bridge.
Yeah, I have meant to build a bridge over here. I've just not got around to it. I've added stairs though here. At last.
I will say you're a much nicer thing. You're a much nicer sight to see than the two different pillager outposts I went past.
Yeah, there's one just over there. Which.
Yeah, I'm pretty like at one point I'm just wandering through a nice scenic taiga, and then there's a crossbow in my face, and I just gun it to the right.
Yeah, they're not they're not great neighbours really. I plan to go over there at some point, and there's a little just beyond it there's a little hillock which I'm going to set up a watchtower in, and then I'm gonna have a war with them at some point. Dragalong Kreiser and a few other people.
Ooh. I would prefer a more rehabilitative method, but I could understand it.
I keep having patrols down my bloody valley, so, you know.
Well, yeah, they have to, like, monitor the area. They can get in here, or I will sell you for scrap. Thank you.
Don't. Right,
Yeah. Second-hand llamas, you know?
Don't say that, he'll hear you. No, I mean, if you want to grab like the emeralds and stuff and everything, because you've got your llama this far, but I don't think he can come down my water elevator, which is the only way to get down to my villagers.
That is a fair point. Do you have like a fence I could hook him up to?
Well, you could always hook him up to the same fence as Little.
I guess I can just stick him. I suppose I can just stick him in the boat again.
Hang on a minute. I do actually have a spare fence post.
There we go. Just as good, surprisingly.
Okay, so down here, it's not all the way down. But if you go all the way down, then you go into my tunnel that links up to my XP farm.
Ooh.
Where are you? Oh, there you are.
You.
Obviously, it's not very tidy.
Right.
But,
yeah, well, have you seen my place? It is mostly mycelium still.
I haven't been to your place yet. I plan to at some point. Now this guy in the back of the boat is the mending villager.
Right, 34 and a book. I should be able to manage that.
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna trade with my villagers while I'm down here. I've been stocking up a bunch of my my wheat and my supplies and stuff. So.
Alright, well I need 4 more emeralds, so if I can hopefully get just enough. There we go. Okay, 34 emeralds, 1 book. There's no crafting table down here.
Yeah, my crafting table's upstairs. It's in my entrance hall. where it's been since I plonked it when I first started making this place. It's like one of the few.
Oh, so it's historic, is what you're saying.
It's one of the few things that hasn't moved.
Okay, paper, book.
This furnace and this crafting table are the two things that haven't moved since I put everything down.
What, not even the campfire?
The campfire is the second one that I've made, because the first one I had to break because it was in my corridor.
Okay, so mending. I can put that on my helmet. And then my next job is to get my own mending villager, which is probably going to be even harder than shipping the llama over here. Safe and sound, back home with our mysteriously rapidly growing collection of llamas. We managed to actually find some sunken ruins and find another one of these hearts of the sea and a bunch of other stuffs. We might actually be able to put that thing to, or at least one of those to use. Because I do, what did I put them? Yeah, I do have 8 Nautilus shells. And apparently these are involved in something to do with the monument, so that might be something we can put to use later. But next job today is to get some villagers over here so that we can hopefully get our own mending villager, and we won't have to go all the way to the other side of the continental side. So here we have a map. Let's have a look at this together, shall we? So here in the tiny little pot over here is us in our noon settlement, our claimed region of mostly mushroom biome. It's not actually entirely, but, you know, we're working on it. And to the left, we have Jace's claim. Now, I don't know if Jace is actually logged in. I don't know. I haven't seen him around at all. But he does have a village inside of his area. Now, I could sneak over there and repatriate some of the residents of that village, but I'd rather not steal from people if I can potentially help it. So, instead, clump all the way to the right. There is at least 2 villages, more or less along a river line, that we can maybe investigate. And mostly, they're only, separated from us by sheer ocean. That's pretty good. There might be a couple of ocean monuments in there, though, so this could get, we could need to do a runner inside of our boats for this. But, once again, out on the open sea. I'm gonna need that boat back, sir. Good afternoon, scenic Borger. I have asked. I'm not 100% certain on the spelling. I'll have to write that down at some point. But scenic de Boyahar. So we are pretty far off my map here. This is the widest I can go as well. I may have also looted some stuff on the way over, because the best part of checking out a whole new region is nobody has looted it ahead of you. So we're looking for... Hello, sir. We're looking for a couple of people who might be interested in sailing to a new exotic land full predominantly of mushrooms currently, and that's more or less all it's got going for it at this exact moment, to be fair. But, you know, we're gonna be sprucing it up, literally, in a lot of cases, getting a lot of new housing development going, that kind of thing. Nice little fishing village. If any of you mostly seem to be farmers, but if any of you are interested in taking up fishing, we can probably deal that as well. You, sir, are you interested? No, you're well, I mean, how about you, sir? You look like a man of spider loving. We mostly deal in, zombies and... yeah, that's fair. You, sir, can I interest you in some... You might actually be meaningful. Okay, right. Well, I can... Sir, wait. Hang on here. Just... Okay, look, we can probably sort something out. I am constructing a library. We can probably... Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're... Okay, fine. I'll keep talking. You know, I'll keep trying to sell the press on this one. And see you back at the islands. Hopefully with some new friends. Look, I promise you, this is exactly as demeaning for me as it is for you right now. I've had llamas in that seat. But okay, here we go. Almost to home. 2 big massive trips for across the ocean later, and we have a pair of librarians. Now, one of yous, I believe it's the one at the back there, sells not really very good stuff. I think it's mostly Bane of Arthropods. Let's have a look. Bloop. No, Impaling too. We managed to get that up. But also bookshelves, which... But he has already learned that we are a profitable place to be because he's changed up from 24 paper down to 4 books, which is the equivalent of half the price plus a little bit of leather. So, yay, that's good. And, you sell quick charge free, which I haven't been able to afford yet, but also every time I, like, turn around with this gate open, you make a beeline for the sea. So I think you might be a little, just a little bit panicked. I've gone back to the village of the name, and honestly, I'm pretty sure he shouldn't be trying to path back to his old workstation. Like, there's 2 here. You can use these ones. I promise. But, yeah, you guys could just gonna, like, stay in this pen. It's not permanent. It's just for, like, the time being, just to, like, we have a lot of fungus around here. We just need to make sure you guys go for quarantine are okay, that kind of thing. Granted, you are standing on the fungus, but it's fine. It's fine. There's definitely no danger in the vicinity for you guys. But anyways, so, the last thing that we have to do today is overhaul this, because we get so many bows and other pieces of equipment that do not stack, and also a lot of skulls, evidently. Quite a lot of skulls. Oh boy. And because they don't stack, we can't filter them, and that consequently means that they back up very quickly. They take up space about 27 times faster than the rest of things. Well, actually, no, about 64 times faster than everything else that we're actually sorting here. So, we need to actually create an overflow control here, and that's fairly straightforward. Let me just take a little off the top here. Ideally without potentially wrecking my own redstone. So here we have the filter. Ow. Do you mind? I'm trying to explain redstone here. And it's very simple. We just, inside of each of these hoppers, have the item that we are... Do you mind? We just have the item that we're trying to actually filter out, and whenever it hits a certain population, namely from when it gets dragged from the row going along the top here, the redstone hits here, which then activates a redstone torch that is under here. Well, a redstone repeater that's under here, that then triggers the redstone torch that allows this one underneath to actually pull out. And what we need to do is basically just add another one on the end here in order to just have anything that won't, for whatever reason, go into this line, go into lava, essentially. That will mean we won't get anything new when we're trying to, like, deal with the stuff here, but it will mean that we'll never actually back up, at least not on those items. It's going to be a little bit more complicated to make this never back up on things like rotten flesh and bones and arrows, but it's a start, at the very least. So, that is my job for right now. And, again, fairly straightforward. We just need to basically have another line going down here of hoppers, so when it overflows. Yeah. But okay, let's get that sorted out. I'll be back with you in a moment. Just block that off for the time being. Right, I should have everything I need for this little modification. So, first things first, we want to just get rid of this, which will then probably dump it right in here. Yep, predictably. And we want to take that along and down by about 4, just to make things a little bit quieter later on. So about there. Okay. Let's take it down another step. Nothing is preventing us from taking it down another step, and the lower we take this, the quieter it's going to be. So just straight down there. That'll also mean it's going to interfere with less of the redstone at this level, so that's also good. Granted, having a silk touch pick makes it very easy to make repeaters and comparators. Oh, it's lovely. Okay, let's just dig this out. We have something to work with. And we want this to go pointing down, so we actually need to be down here with our dropper. So, bloop, there you are. One drop, there you go, and we'll just put lava here, but we don't have any lava to hand at this exact moment, so we'll just leave that be for the moment, really. It's not really any other word I can use there. Okay, so, bit of our polished granite, which we always use whenever we're trying to make sure that we don't mess anything up. And that is repeater into a comparator into a repeater. What is wrong with my words today? Blech. Comparator into there. Okay. And it can be whatever level we like, so we'll just put it there for responsivity. And then we just need a little bit of work around here. So, do. So, we need 2 redstone dust to 1 redstone dust. And we also need comparator and a block. And what that is a pulse extender, or a monostable circuit, as the more correct term would be. And what that means is that whenever a signal comes in here, no matter how long or short, it will then be extended up until the point where the full power actually runs out here and it's not able to pass to the rest of these. Okay, we're getting a little bit closer here. So, now we need a dot of redstone on a block here, which is then going to be powered by an observer. These are relatively new. I'm not... I've got that a little bit wrong, haven't I? I need to be another step over, that's why. Or do I? Can I just plug it into the block? No, I don't think I can, at least not without extending over this way. Just trying to do a little bit of engineering, because every redstone project is a little bit different. It's never quite the same thing. Okay, so to there. Nope, that's the wrong... You're facing the wrong direction, my friend. My funny-faced friend. Okay. To there. Okay, and... Now, every time there is a block update from this observer, we get that. Okay. Grand. So, if we put a bit of redstone on a block here, then we can put a sticky piston. Thankfully, when I was over in the swamp, I managed to get my hands on... Oh no, I actually can put it right there. I'm doing my numbers really wrong, aren't I? Okay. When I was over in the swamp, we managed to actually get ourselves access to... Nope, wrong direction. Get ourselves access to some slime. Not very much, though. I'm probably gonna have to try and come up with a way to farm slime around here. But okay. So, now, if anything is in here, it should trigger the monostable, which in turn will trigger the piston, which will hook these two together. They will feed back each other because there is a data value whenever they're... Oh, that's just anti-cramming at work up there, yay. Self-cleaning. Gotta love it. That will then cause these two to feedback and continually pulse, and then that will pulse the dropper, which will eventually remove the power from here, which will cause the monostable to burn out eventually, and just retract the piston. So by way of testing... There we go. So there's a little bit of extra time there, and that is because this will actually fire fast enough that it will empty out the dropper faster than the pistons above could actually stock it. So, the hoppers above it can actually stock it. And if we have a chain of items coming in that we, for whatever reason, can't actually store, we want to make sure that we actually catch as many of them in a single pulse as we can. So, hurrah! Let's give you guys a torch. You know, because they have faces, might as well treat them nicely. If it has a face, treat it nicely. That seems like a decent life metric. Okay, and just let me out of here. Okay, right. So, next, we're currently using the item that we want to be filtering as part of the filter. Now, you really, ideally, should only be using that in one place. So, how many am I going to need for this? Let's see, it's just 4, so we need about 12 of these. That's fine. So ideally, we're just gonna name this as number whatever as so just a name that we are never gonna be seeing in any other capacity, essentially. If anybody types this in as an actual name, then I will presume that they are possibly having a stroke. And the idea here is that we just create an item that should never exist elsewhere, and we use that in order to give ourselves a filter that cannot be broken. Sticks, first and foremost, are never created by this particular grinder, but sticks with this particular name are also never going to, exist from this grinder. So, the only slot that can fill up is the slot that has this, and since it's only the one slot, if this gets somehow maxed out, if we have no more storage for rotten flesh, for instance, it'll get topped up to 64, but then as soon as there is space, it will only tick down to 18 again. So it will never, it'll never, flood the system in such a fashion that it will be unable to recover. So for instance, we stick those in, literally, and it just goes down to 18. And again, with the arrows, just down to 18. Good, good, good. And if we grab ourselves, say, a stack of rotten flesh, we stick that in, we can see that in really full form. So it'll tick down there, but it will only go down to 18, which means that the filter will always be preserved, even if there is somehow a huge backup that we can't deal with. And if there is a huge backup that we can't deal with that causes this line here, our sort of unfiltered storage, it'll just overflow over the top and go down into there, where it will then be dispensed into lava, which I will add after this filming. Other than that, I hope you've enjoyed this. We are going to start off next episode, I think, by making this an actual one-hit grinder rather than 3+, or a little less if they've been suffocating slightly. But that is all I have time for today, so hope you've enjoyed. Catch you all as ever next time. Wait. Stop. Do you hear that? That creeping, crawling noise. That dripping like the sound of blood spilling from an open wound. It's the sound of my Patreon, and if you want to outrun whatever is making that noise, as well as grab some fun benefits, head over to patreon.com/lying.